Good afternoon, everyone. Here we are again. So nice to see so many friendly, supportive faces, and so nice to be able to tell you that I and the hundreds of people it feels like sometimes on our team behind me are in good shape and in very good spirits. We're in a very good place with this process, and trust me, it's going forward very well according to plan. I just wanted to make that clear because people, some of you will be following the questions and answers and the process that we're going through. Given where we are with the reputation of government and everything that's going on, it is reassuring, I think, for you to hear that this process is one which is being managed with the utmost professionalism and integrity. We have 4 inspectors who are going about their job thoroughly and effectively, asking questions which need to be asked and need to be answered. That's exactly what should happen with a well-ordered planning process. It would be nice to say that that is what normally happens down here, but I don't think I can really say that. But in relation to this process, that is the case, definitely. A couple of preliminary points. First of all, night flights. Trevor Shonk has asked me to say something on that subject, which I will for the umpteenth time, but it is very difficult to deal with a lie that is told often, regularly, and persistently, and ignores all the evidence to the contrary. So for the avoidance of doubt, maybe I should say this in several languages, I'll try it in English. For the avoidance of doubt, between the hours of 2300, that's 11 p.m., and 0700, 7 a.m., there will be no, repeat, no departures except between 6 and 7 in the morning, when passenger aircraft, almost certainly Ryanair, will depart, because that's when Ryanair aircraft start their day. Ryanair aircraft based at Manston, heading for Europe, because they lose an hour when they cross into Europe, need to be airborne before 7 a.m. So as far as departures are concerned, that is the only exception. There will be no other departures between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Now, as regards arrivals, the only arrivals that will be permitted will be those of late-running aircraft. They will most likely be passenger aircraft because, given weather conditions and air traffic conditions in Europe in the summer and sheer busyness and congestion at other airports, it does happen that an aircraft which may be due to return to Manston by, say, 10:30 gives us notice that it's not going to return till midnight. That aircraft has to be allowed to return, partly because its passengers will be people, some of whom live locally and would much rather get back to Manston Airport than be diverted to Birmingham and have a long bus journey back. That's partly it. It's also that that aircraft needs to be in position to leave Manston the next morning. As regards cargo flights, if there is a late-running cargo aircraft which is unavoidably late-running, it will be allowed to land. But that's it. That's it. And please bear in mind that under the QC count system of measuring aircraft noise, inbound aircraft produce half the noise of outbound aircraft. So I will say again, for the avoidance of doubt, no outbound aircraft at all between 2300 and 0600, and the only outbound aircraft between 0600 and 0700 will be Ryanair or similar aircraft, passenger aircraft, departing for Europe. I don't know how many more times we have to say that. We'll keep saying it. I'm aware that there are posters and banners in Ramsgate which state the opposite. They are not true. They are absolutely not true. And without wanting to bore people with the economics of it, a shift in an airport, and the shift for these purposes would be from probably midnight until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And a special nighttime shift would require a great deal of expense, and why on earth would a self-respecting airport wanting to trade profitably do that? And finally, and this is the most important thing of all, there will be conditions on the development consent order, and if those conditions limit us to what I have just described, then there will be no other night flights permitted. And so I suggest that the logic of those people who are campaigning against night flights ought to be something like, well, we've achieved our objective, rather than going around saying we have a secret plan to do this. It's important that we make that clear. Very quickly, Operation Stack. Some of you have taken a lot of interest in that, as have we. I think to reassure you, I can say that we have had a regular dialogue with the Department for Transport and its officials, who've been very professional in the way they've gone about their business. To reassure us, we've been told that all the construction work that they've done up there has been under the supervision of the Environment Agency, so that there is no danger to the aquifer or in respect of any other possible environmental calamity. And thanks to Sir Roger Gale, we have a parliamentary answer from the Minister 10 days ago, in which the Minister confirmed that if any damage were to be done, that it would be put right at government expense. Now, government expense means taxpayers' expense, of course, but it will be put right, and that's very reassuring. Our position is that we are comfortable for the process to run. It has a fixed end date of the 31st of December 2020, and I was asked a question early on how that fits in with our timetable, and it does fit in, because the due date for the granting of the DCO is the 9th of January 2020. The rest of 2020 will be taken up with preparing for construction work, organising aerodrome certification and all the detail, writing the aerodrome manual, training and recruiting and all the rest of it. So we won't be ready to start construction work until the early part of 2021, by which time the whole of the DFT's parking services agreement, as it's called, on Manston will have come to an end. Bo mentioned the local plan inquiry, which is important, and it raises some old skeletons, which I think are worth reminding us all about now. And I'm conscious that there are candidates and elected members who've been facing the wrath of the public in certain parts of Thanet because of the consequences in relation to housing policy. Just to remind you all, under the old local plan there was a policy called EC4, which said that the Manston Airport site is reserved for aviation and aviation alone. That policy actually remains in place to this day, thanks to a finding by the Planning Appeal Inspector of July 2017. However, as some of you will know, in the early summer of 2016, the then administration of Thanet decided to commission a report from a firm called Avia Solutions, who carried out their work in the space of 6 weeks at a cost, we are told, of around £50,000. Now, £50,000 is not insignificant, but I can tell you in the context of the money that we've spent on specialist advice, it's nothing. So the suggestion that a report produced that quickly at that price ought to be sufficient to justify a major change in this local authority's housing policy is extraordinary. We know that, and this was discussed at the local plan inquiry last week, that when the report was received by Thanet in the early autumn of 2016, there was a statement by the then leader pronouncing the airport dead before the report had even been considered. We also know that the report was never properly consulted on, nor was it ever the subject of extended debate by elected members. You are therefore left with a situation where a major shift in the council's housing policy is based on a report which is carried out in a short space of time and is not consulted upon. And I should add, many of you know this, that those people that wrote the report, having said that the airport was not viable, also said they hadn't seen our business plans. The reason they hadn't seen our business plans was that we asked them to sign a confidentiality agreement, and they declined to do that. So the reliability of that report, we have said all along, should be called into question, and the decision by the council to change policy on such a radical matter was highly questionable. The consequences of that are now being faced, because, as we all know, eventually in January of last year, the administration fell because the local plan was voted out by a significant majority of members of the council. But in the meantime, the work necessary to define and designate areas for housing was not done because an allocation was made to the airport site. Once the policy was changed, the planning department of the council was left in an impossible position, which was to basically cobble together a policy whereby the required housing number of just over 17,000 was accommodated elsewhere. In the view of our consultants, that process left a lot to be desired, and is why the council finds itself in the awkward position in which it does find itself today. We say that that report should never have been relied on, that AV report, and that if the council, the then administration, had gone about its business in identifying housing sites and consulting adequately, some of the issues which are clearly concerning the current examination would have been avoided. The AV report, just to complete the story, of course, as many of you will know, having been published in the autumn of 2016, was not tested in the planning appeal of March 2017, and as far as I'm aware, has never been tested or consulted upon. And yet, it remains the justification for the council's position, and frankly, in my view, the total mess of the council's housing policy in relation to the local plan. It just seems to me unfair that this inherited situation has come about, and that the airport, quite wrongly, has been drawn into it, because if policy EC4 had been upheld, as it was in the eyes of Inspector Nunn in his decision of July 2017, all this would have been avoided. All of it would have been avoided. It is so unfortunate. And if I can just finish on this point, struggling for the right word. I was present when the former leader of the council said what he had to say at the public hearing at the Oddfellows Hall in Ramsgate a couple of weeks ago, and I've seen some of the material that he's written. We say that the AVIA report should never have been relied upon, and that for the council, the then administration, to have disregarded all the evidence that we put forward to the planning appeal in March of 2017, and to plough on regardless of the outcome of that decision, led directly to the present situation. It was avoidable, it should have been avoided, and in many ways it's now been left to the inspectors, who, as you know, have been put in by the government, because the Secretary of State government intervention was necessary, to correct all that. Back to the DCO. let me just finish on this point. Let me just finish this point by saying Mrs. Riverwood will be represented at next Wednesday's hearing, examination hearing, because the airport is the item on the agenda. Our case, and those of you who have been at the previous hearings, is basically that the airport should not be considered in this examination at all, because it's outside the scope of the examination. The airport is subject to a separate examination as a DCO project and as an airport. We believe that the local plan examiners will accept that, and therefore the airport should be set to one side, so to speak. You will be aware that the Stonewall Park parties are attempting to suggest to the examiners, the inspectors, that they should be looking at Stonewall Park for housing. We believe that that will not be successful, judging from what the inspectors have said so far, and that the inspectors' main concern is with those sites that have been identified for housing, and they wish to understand why they've been identified and why other sites have not been identified, and they want to understand better the process through which the council put those sites in order to identify them. And that, of course, takes us back to the point about the airport being designated for housing and the mess that resulted as a consequence. Returning finally to the subject of the DCO then, we're preparing answers to the latest round of questions, which have to be in by the 3rd of May. There was then a further round of comment and counter-comment running through to the week of the 3rd of June. On Monday the 3rd of June, there will be 5 days, possibly 4 depending on certain other matters, but there will be as many as 5 days of public examination again and questioning by the inspectorate. Thereafter there's a little bit more to and froing, and the process finally ends on the 9th of July. After the 9th of July, there is then 6 months total silence, where I predict we'll all get more and more anxious, more and more nervous, and more and more stressed. Some cases, possibly more and more drunk. I don't know. It's not going to be easy, but that's the way the system works. There is 6 months before the decision is announced. 3 months for the inspectors to write their report, but they don't show it to us when they've written it, and then 3 months for the Secretary of State to make his, and to him at the moment, his decision. So, so we've got April, May, June. We've got 3 and a bit months of activity, and then 6 months of waiting. So that's what lies ahead.
Please keep your support going for that time, please, guys.
And just finally, and please feel free to ask whatever questions you want to ask. From time to time, press reports appear. There was one in the Daily Telegraph 2 weeks ago, an extraordinary story which tried to suggest that our real purpose was to take ownership of the site away from Stonewall Park by pretending it was going to be an airport, and then having secured the site, that we would put houses on it. I'm tempted to say there was a time when the Daily Telegraph was considered a serious newspaper. Really, to publish a piece like that in the light of a response that we gave them and which they chose not to publish just seems to us to be shocking. And in case anybody should doubt it, I'm sure there isn't anyone here, to suggest that that's the plan is just ludicrous. Because for the record, our opinion and the opinion of all our advisors is that you could not find a site less suited to housing than the Manston Airport site, even if you were an enthusiastic house builder. So there is just no question of that, and there is no secret plan. Our website is informative, but we are careful not to spin or push stuff out out that is seen to be exaggerating or distorting our position. It would be very tempting to respond publicly to some of the material that appears in Ramsgate, but our focus is on the process and on planning inspectors. That's the right way to do it, and that's what we'll continue to do. So if there are times when you guys, and I know I get calls saying, why haven't you responded to that? It's an outrage. That's the reason why. So, and that's the process we'll continue until the 9th of July. Thank you for listening, but I'm happy to answer